Hey there, party people. Jonathan here, coming to you live-ish from the lands of the Jagera and Turrbal people, lands never ceded. Last step, we explored in more generic terms how people work out what their purpose in life might be. It's the kind of thing we do here at Inner Vivid World Headquarters. And we're doing it because exploring what your own purpose for being on the planet might be could be said to be an important thing on the way to figuring out your own sense of spirituality. But this time?
How did you discover your purpose? What was that like?
This time, it's personal. And while that sounds like a John Wick movie or maybe one with Liam Neeson where he's taking revenge for something, this video is not that. This video is people sharing just how they found their purpose. Or how they keep looking, because that's a thing too. Because sometimes it's not easy. Okay, now I'm just padding because I get paid by the minute. Paid. All right. I think we need that question again because it was so long ago.
How did you discover your purpose? What was that like?
I like this question because it makes me think, have I discovered my purpose? I think in many ways I've become more sure of it because the area that I now work in is something that does light me up. It's something that is passionate for me, and I can see that I'm able to use particular skills and abilities that may come a little bit more naturally for me. I'm able to utilize those. So I feel that at the moment that may be how I'm living into my purpose. How did I discover it? I think is through maybe the words of friends, people saying to me, hey, have you thought about this? Or this could be something that you could be good at, or why don't you try it? And I'm not saying that it's always comfortable. Sometimes finding your purpose might take you out of your comfort zone. It might be something that challenges you and stretches you. It may be completely out of the box. But I think if you're feeling that, oh, okay, there's something that I'm wrestling with, there's something inside of me, then you know what? What's the worst thing that happens? Like, give it a try.
So I discovered my purpose through doing the things that I loved doing and finding that it was helping other people. And that started at a very early age. I recall just coming home from school, and if there was something that I had learned that day, I just loved teaching my mum that thing. And she would, thankfully, in her wisdom, would buy into that and let me do that thing, even if it was something really obvious that she knew. Other times, she would challenge me to go and explore a bit further. Simple things like, oh, how do I spell that word? And she would challenge me to go and find out, rather than just give me that answer. And so the combination of that love for learning, that love for teaching something that I had just learned to someone else, grew into this sense of, this is something that I love doing and that I think I'm actually a bit good at, and I can do that thing my mum did for me and say, instead of answering the question, go and challenge the person to find out and then have them come back and tell me, what did you learn? That kind of teaching approach is where I find meaning in my own life. And that's been a discovery over many years, over a lifetime. And it's been about just naturally finding and also seeking out opportunities to do that thing that I love. And so that's been my experience.
The way I discovered my purpose is not actually finished. It's still going. I'm still discovering which facets of my life are the purpose for why I am here. Some of them I think are really unshakable, like being a violinist. That is definitely part of my purpose, but not the only part and not the only purpose. I believe I'm also called to be a good family member and a good person who engages in the world, and that has evolved and is still evolving. The exact way that will look is still evolving.
I think it's been a bit of a journey, and it has been a journey of both trying a whole lot of different stuff listening to my heart, working out what is it that I love and finding ways of doing and being that. Lots of heartbreaks and lots of joys, because that journey has sometimes been lonely, and sometimes the stuff that I love or feel that I need to do and to be, no one else has heard that at the same time, and so that's difficult as well. But I think trusting that, there's stuff going on in my heart that is important and worth following. Yeah.
I think for me, discovering purpose has inevitably involved experiences of loss, disillusionment, and wandering. And then also spaces and people that can help metabolize experiences of loss, disillusionment, and wandering into something generative. And I think that's a pretty universal experience as well. I think any person that hasn't experienced some kind of crisis in life, even just a minimal crisis, I think without that you can't gain enough distance from all of the kind of anxiety deadening distractions that you're surrounded with to ask that deeper question: who am I? What do I want? What possibly could be my singular contribution to this world? So some sense of breakage, some sense of crisis, even if minimal, I think is actually required to walk through in order to find one's deeper sense of what life is about. I'm not sure I've ever fully arrived at that kind of moment where I can simply say directly and definitively, this is my purpose, and this is what it feels like. In a way, I think continually asking the question about what am I here to do and what am I here for, that's my experience. And I have moments in which I feel connected to something, but they often feel very fragile, and not some sort of durable, once and for all answer. And I'm continually kind of pursuing that question and pursuing that kind of fleeting moment. And often it feels like joy, often it feels like possibility, often it feels like connection to something. But yeah, it's also very fragile, all of those things.
There's a lot of vulnerability, a lot of tears, a lot of heartache, because of my own history. So it's not going to be that way for all people. But I always knew that I had a calling. It took a long time for me to accept it. I did not want it, so I ran away for a bit. So I always knew that, but it took the right people in the right place at the right time to bring it out of me and for me to accept that that's what it was, and then to go on the journey to do that. But I'll tell you, the most amazing thing is when I finally did accept it and started the process of talking to people about going forward for ordination, I was greeted with an immediate and enthusiastic yes. Every time it was just yes. And I think when you find that big yes, that's the moment. And when it's reiterated and reiterated, and you have the ability to tell someone and go, this is what I'm thinking, and they go, yes, that's it. Go for it, do it.
That's a really long story. It's always a journey though, and it continues to be a journey. I don't think purpose is just a one stop and then it's all done. I think that there are different times in our lives where we stop and we take stock and we listen to what's going on inside of us. And I think that there are different points in our lives where that's the time where purpose can become clearer. For me, that was certainly the time when purpose became clearer, when there were times where I stopped and I listened. And then it was a case of stepping out and learning and continuing to listen as I went.
That for me, part of the process of discovering a purpose in my life, and I think the word purpose, I don't fully resonate with that term purpose, because part of what has meant for me to discover purpose in life is actually to kind of deflate that very question. That I think sometimes obsession with the question of what is the purpose of my life is actually a kind of suffocating, deadening question. And that being able to kind of step back from that and discover a bit more breathing room and a bit more uncertainty and a bit more freedom from that very question can actually surprisingly open up dimensions of purpose that were unforeseen.
Wow, I think there's a lot of good, advice there. It's going to take some work. It could be hard. It takes space and friends. It might be unexpected. But it also could feel like such a big yes, or a series of them, that it could be life-changing. Even Peter's potential downer is really just a call to not make this an obsession, but allow it to be new, a creative new way to see everything. I really like that. Because let's make no mistake, working out or being on the road to working out this stuff for yourself, it is life-changing. For me, it gives me a sense that life matters, that I matter, that it's worth getting up each day, except for sleep-ins. Because amongst other meaninglessness, my stuff, my life might actually matter. That is gold, and I've felt that gold. And the feeling about gold is gold. And while I'm at it, I also like to hear that these Ivy expert type people are mostly still on the journey. If you ever feel like you don't have it all together, then that's okay, right? I mean, as Peter said, that might actually be a plus. Yeah, working out purpose is an ongoing source of joy, like breathing or loving life or doing the vacuuming. Well, not that last one. Though let's face it, that is never ending. All right, it sounds like I'm finishing up here, but I saved a little nugget of goodness. Here's one of my favourite people, Sarah. Sarah, what have you got up your sleeve?
It took a few goes for me to find what I think is my purpose. And I don't think you ever fully get there. I'm a wife, I'm a mum, I'm a priest, I'm a sister, I'm a runner of sorts. I've tried lots of different things. And the things that seem to resonate, the things that seem to fill me with joy, fill me with that sense of, yes, this is the right thing for me. This gives me that sense of purpose and fulfillment, then I know I'm on the right track. If I try something and I think, oh, this feels like it's sucking me dry, this feels like it's taking from me rather than filling me up, then I know that's not quite right. It's a matter of trial and error, but that's life, isn't it? Life is about trying something out, and if it really works and resonates, carry on. And if it doesn't, back away, try something else.
What do you think? Is this doable? I think it just might be.